Hello, everybody. Meteorologist Hutch Johnson joining you, and we do have some wild weather to talk about out west. We're not done in California. A little bit of a break now. I'm going to show you the snow that's ready to come, and it's going to hit the Rocky Mountains to the Sierra Nevada. Big time warmth making a return to the Central Plains. We're going to look at temperatures and how different we are from average across most of the nation, and a return to some rain in the Central Plains as you are cool now, but the heat is set to return. Here is a look at what we have going on, and we're going to use a little bit of a new site right here. I call this the Climate Reorganizer. It's a page that's put together by a university. Oh, let me just show it to you. It's fantastic. This is put together by the University of Maine, and it's a different way to look at temperatures. We oftentimes look at where it's hot and cold, but it's fun to look at what we call an anomaly. An anomaly is a look at where the temperature is warmer than average or colder than average. And here we go. Now, this is a look at our current temperatures across the area, average temperatures. Where you see the greens, you can see temperatures are, well, pretty close to warm. Yeah, and as we look at the purples, that's where the cold pool is. But this is a look at the anomaly. So what you're looking at here, where you see the red colors, let me pop the anomaly back up here. The anomaly, red, the reddish hue is above average. So most of the people in the Rocky Mountains, the Central Plains, are enjoying a day where your temperatures are well above average for this time of the year. Look at the cool pool. It's mostly across the eastern United States with slightly below average temperatures with the light blue, 1 to 5 degrees C below average. But as we get up into eastern parts of Canada, it's much colder. Look at Alaska. The heat is on. Yep, we've got temperatures there that are around 15 to 25 degrees above average. So this is a look at where things are. Now, this page is also pretty cool because we can look at something else, the jet stream. Now, a little bit of note about the jet stream. First and foremost, that jet stream doesn't guide warmer air into our area, or it doesn't guide colder air to move out of Canada. The jet stream sets up where the temperature difference is the greatest. So let's go back and look at this and look at the jet stream. It's really cool. Now take a look at this. First and foremost, the jet stream is a steering current that helps us see the storm track as well. So it's really important in weather. Let's get right back to it. Now, where we see the greatest temperature difference, notice between Alaska and northern portions of Canada, including the Yukon and the Northwest Territories, that is where we have some significantly anomalous temperatures, warmer than average, colder than average, right through here. Now, let's take a look at the jet stream. This is at about the mid-levels of the atmosphere, so it's not way up there. Where you see these highlighted colors, the greens trailing through from Alaska straight down through central Canada and a dipsy doodle over the east coast, that trough there. The temperature difference is what's driving this polar jet stream here. Now down to the south, we see another branch where the jet stream splits and it's making its way onshore in, well, you guessed it, California. And that is where the storms have been relentless with rain and snow, and we have more of that to come. A nice quiet down as a cold front is working its way off into the Atlantic states. So now as we take a look at the jet stream's impact, wherever you see a big dip in the southerly flow, or flowing south, and then it turns to the north, it's called a trough. And usually on the right side of that trough is where we have stormy weather. So stormy weather moving off the Atlantic seaboard now. Stormy weather making its way onshore once again to the Pacific Northwest. So here's a look at the satellite and precipitation. We see a storm brewing out here in the Pacific Northwest. And here is the exiting cold front that is taking with it the rain and the cooler weather off the eastern shores. So that is a look at our weather map with a stormy weather south of Greenland, trailing all the way through the central Atlantic and mid-Atlantic states, exiting offshore. This system making its way onshore. What does it mean for our weather? Let's take a look at our latest radar and forecast, shall we? And to do that, we're going to look at the nation. Right now, we're enjoying some fairly quiet weather on the radar across our nation. And here is a look. And we do have some rain showers off the coast of California, from Los Angeles up into Vegas, where it's raining pretty well there. So that's where the rainy weather is right now. Now, there is some wintry weather expected to return to the mountains outside the northern Sierra Nevada. Sacramento and on up towards Reno and Truckee is where we're expecting some heavy rain. That's going to spread into the Rocky Mountain West. So Utah, Colorado, Wyoming, expected to see some snow from the system. So for now, it is quiet. But as we turn on the watches and warnings, we'll go over a couple of these with you because there are some things to be aware of across the nation today. Very quiet weather across most of the United States. As we take a look at the west, though, we can zoom in and show you the reds. Those are winter storm warnings. So in the mountains to the east of you in Eureka, there is a winter storm warning that is set to continue for, well, the next hour or so in the northern portion. And now, as you get outside of Fresno, that is where we have a winter storm warning that continues for the mountains in the Sierra Nevada above 6,000 feet. Look at this, 1 to 2 feet of snow expected to be on top, but 2 to 3 feet of snow to be expected above 7,000 feet. So again, the mountain snow just continues to hit the Sierra Nevada outside of Reno, outside of Fresno, and looking south just outside of you in the Bakersfield area. Where the rain right now is taking place is in Los Angeles. We're going to go ahead and turn that off, and we're going to take a look at this progression of systems that work their way through California into the Rocky Mountains, number one. Then number two, we're going to walk through the Central Plains where you have some changes taking place for you as well. So let's load up a look at the model. We'll go to a regional model that's going to be fairly high resolution. It's going to give us an idea of how things are going to be changing as we go through the next 48 hours or so. And we'll focus, I will turn the watches and warnings off too real quickly if you give me just a bit of time to do that. Here we go. Watches and warnings turned off. And now what we're going to do is track this storm off of the Pacific coast and how it changes as we go through time here. Let's go ahead and switch this over so you can see a look at the timeline on the time bar. Here we go. Here is a look at this morning, and the rain showers continue through LA, making their way up to Vegas, and rain pushing into central Utah. Let's go ahead and put up a winter composite so we can see where it's rain and where it's snow. So here we go, precipitation type. Where you see the blue colors, we'll have some snow showers. Notice that most of the snow will be outside of Calgary in parts of Western Canada, Calgary, for those of us who don't have the accent for Calgary. All right, now we do have that mountain rain that's going to be taking place that will be changing over to snow as we go toward the evening hours tonight. So outside of Reno and in Northern California, we'll have snow. While this system spreads moisture up into the elevated terrain of Utah, it begins tonight. So you're going to see some significant snow developing. That's also going to take place in southern Wyoming and northwestern Colorado in the mountains to the west of the Denver area and to the west of the Front Range. As we set this into motion, we'll see that the snow really starts returning to the mountains outside Sacramento and Reno as we get into the overnight hours tonight and into your hump day on Wednesday. So this system will continue to progress its way through. The snow will be continuing in Casper, Wyoming, out towards Riverton, and that's going to add up to some snowfall there. Western Montana, you'll get in the mix as well, with a little bit not too far from the President's Nose of Western Montana there, not far from you in Missoula. Now, as we continue this progress through, the snow band works its way into the mountains of Colorado. It exits California for now as we close out the afternoon of your Wednesday and head into Thursday. So that's a look at the progress of that system. As it exits the Rockies, bringing rain to the plains, look what's offshore now. Another strong storm system heading right for the west coast of the United States. That's a look at the west coast. Now, we'll take a quick peek at how much snow before we go to the Central Plains system. And this is, again, I always want to preface this as a meteorologist, let you know that this isn't exactly what we're going to see or the exact location of it. We already showed you the National Weather Service in the mountains outside of Eastern California and the Sierra Nevada. Anywhere from 1 to 4 feet of snow is projected by the National Weather Service. Let me show you what this model shows. So here we'll pop up a look at forecast snowfall amounts, and let's go with this. And let's let this play through. Now, as we go ahead and put this on the last frames, we'll see that by the time the system works its way out of California, by the time we get to 6 a.m. on your hump day, it's snowing pretty well in Salt Lake City, just off to the east of you. And then it spreads into northern Colorado and southern Wyoming. So keep that in mind. How much snow is this talking about? Let me show you. Now, as we turn on the little crosshairs that you'll see on this map right here, those will give us an idea of what the model is projecting. So on the border of Wyoming and Colorado, anywhere from 1 foot of snow, maybe at the peaks and the high elevated terrain, we could see a couple of feet of snow there. Salt Lake City looks to pick up a lot of snow because that moisture that is just streaming and being forced up the terrain of the Rocky Mountains is going to be wrung out of there like an old dish rag in the form of huge snowflakes. So from Logan, Utah, Ogden, Utah, and just up in the hills to the east of you, Provo and east of you, the amounts will really ramp up. So in Provo and in the lower terrain areas, we're going to see upwards of a few inches of snow, 3 to 6 inches, but it will ramp up quickly as you get up into the terrain. Outside of California, let's go to Reno. That area along the I-80 corridor could see some areas with 3, maybe 4 feet of snow at the peaks. Likewise, you get up outside of Red Bluff here, getting up into the terrain there. This model's progging upwards of 50 to 60 inches of snow. That's a lot of snow. Kind of fun to look at. I'm not saying that's what's going to fall. Rely on your local National Weather Service forecast office for that, because even as a meteorologist, they're going to have a better grasp of the local terrain impacts of that. So keep that in mind. Here's a look at that. Now let's take a peek at what we're expecting with regards to the Central Plains and when your rain will make its way in. So we've got warming weather in the Central Plains now, and that's really helping to warm things up for you. Now let's see if I can load up a look at our forecast of rainfall. So let's go back to the precipitation map on this. We'll turn this off and we will pop up so we can see the Central Plains. Here we go. You can kind of see that as we head into, let me see, why is that not showing up? Let me see. There's the timestamp for you. As we go into the 22nd, so we're talking about the Thursday time frame, we're going to have an increased chance of rain working its way in from basically the Gulf Coast states working our way through. So let's turn this off. What we're going to do is we're going to set up a southerly flow, and you can almost see off the Gulf some of that moisture starting to be drawn up into the southern plains, the Mississippi Delta. As that happens, that laces the atmosphere with moisture, and here comes a system out of the Rockies to lift that moist air and create showers and a few rumbles of thunder. Nothing too severe. There could be some fairly strong storms in and around Arkansas as we go into your Wednesday night and Thursday right here. And then this system heads into Appalachia. So we're talking about West Virginia and heading up into places like Indianapolis and Indiana, all the way up to Toronto, where rain is in the forecast as we cross into your day on Thursday. That's the time frame. Rainfall amounts will be anywhere to 1/2 inch to 1 inch. Some locally heavier rains under thunderstorms is what's anticipated. And that's a look at the rain to the east, the snow to the west, and the big time warm-up that's taking place in the nation's midsection. Hey, go ahead and drop a line. Let me know where you're watching from. I always love to see that in the comments out there. I appreciate all of you for joining me. And if you liked it, I sure like the likes on the videos as well. And you can find more about Hutch's weather. Well, I'm on YouTube right here, but I also have a Facebook page. And again, thank you very much. Go ahead and subscribe if you'd like notifications for when we're going on. But again, some snowfall in the mountains of the West, including California, Colorado, Utah, and also we're going to see some rain returning to the plains, some heavy rains as well for Central California at the lower elevations. Could cause some more flooding and flash flooding problems because of all the significant rain.